We get to talk about another one of these or series of interviews I've done with Trump supporters in the past. And these are bonkers, so prepare yourself. Of course, to give you the context and then we'll dive in, I had people after my most recent Trump event that I went to and interviewed people at saying they love that content and wished that there was more. And until I can get myself to another event, I'm recapping past ones I've done because y'all haven't seen a lot of them since so many of you have come in recently as far as my audience goes. So here's some speech that Trump gave. I waited outside, caught people as they were about to go in, and asked them a few questions. And the two that I want to show you first, and then the third one is just completely bizarre, is about the election, okay? These two are about the election. And this just shows you how little information informs a lot of the beliefs that the election is stolen from individuals who believe that. Because this guy, I asked him, do you think, this election could be legitimate? And he says, maybe, but we think 2020 was stolen. And I said, how? And then he says that, well, there's research, but the guy who told me about it isn't here. So that's it. Just watch for yourself. So if he runs in 2024, and he loses, do you think it'll also be stolen again?
It could be possibly, but there's no way to say that it will be or won't be.
And how will you tell if it is or isn't? Like, do you think he could just lose fair and square?
Yeah, he could, very possibly, but, we feel this last election was rigged and that there are a lot of unknown voters that have passed, and how do you vote if you're dead?
You're saying people used the names of dead voters?
Yes.
To vote? Even though that hasn't been shown out in any of the court cases or anything?
Has shown, but...
Research from who?
I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to ask the person who told me this, and he is not with us today.
I'm going to be honest. If you believe something like the election was stolen because dead voters, their names were used to vote, let's go ahead and make sure that you know where that came from and don't just believe the person that told you. Because have you never played telephone? Don't you know that hearing something from someone who heard it from something who heard it from someone is not a great way to get your information, especially on something as crucial as our democracy? Second, a woman that I talked to said a very similar level of, belief, and it was backed by just as much information, meaning very, very little. And then 2020, you think it was stolen?
Yes.
From Trump?
For sure.
And what makes you believe that?
I believe it. When I registered to vote here in Austin, the register in Austin, Texas, man, when I was changing states, and she was laughing at me like a week and a half before the election, going, ha ha, this election's already been decided. I was in the car, I had a witness, I'm a caregiver, I was driving this like...
Do you think she just meant since Biden was so ahead in the polls?
No, he was not ahead of the polls, and no, definitely.
No, I mean polling.
She was cynical, and no.
Because I bet money with somebody that Biden would win, but it wasn't because I had inside information.
I don't have inside information. It's just a feeling.
Just a feeling?
And just with the comment, just walk around the people.
Walk around. Again, if you heard that coming out of your mouth, wouldn't you think, maybe if I am walking around telling people the election was stolen, I should have a better reason to believe that than it's a feeling and walk around. I will remind you all that, just so you know, once we're done with the interview, sometimes before the interview, it's delightful sometimes. And then you jump into the conversation. You're like, what? How did we just have such a nice conversation about whatever, the weather, and then dive into that complete bonkersville? It is strange. Now, speaking of bonkersville, here's the final one I want to show you. A guy who believes we have open borders, but it doesn't go well when I ask, wait, but that's not true. For the audience, what that sign is all about?
Well, that sign is about open border. Yeah, every country protect the country, the people by the border. Every country have a border. Why Biden open their border?
But you understand that at the border, thousands upon thousands of people are getting detained every single day, and thousands of people are being deported. So we're enforcing the border, just maybe not as much as you would like.
Well, I don't think 1,000 people is deported. I think nobody's deported right now.
Yes, thousands of people are being deported.
Before, but no.
Under Joe Biden.
No, with Biden. Nuh-uh.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I love it. He goes, nuh-uh. I don't believe you. So yeah, very scary, because if you can get people to believe claims that you make that are pretty big ones, open borders, stolen election, and convince them that they don't need to have any sort of evidence or anything like that to believe the things you're saying, then as a leader at Trump or right-wing media, you're in a very strong place and have a lot of authority over your audience's views. And that's why we kind of call it a cult, because it's not people who say, I like what you have to say because I compare what you say to the evidence that you have, and you're really great. It's whatever you say, I believe, and whatever you ask me to do, I'll do. And that is dangerous. That's very dangerous, as I know you guys are aware. Last thing I'll say, someone asked in a recent video in the comments section if I could tell y'all when these were for the recap segments where I go through past ones. This was the same event as our last video, so May, if I'm not mistaken, of 2022, something like that. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/LukeBeasley. That's patreon.com/LukeBeasley, and there is a link in the description.